There's a version of you that exists right now, not in the future, not waiting for you to become more healed or more worthy. Right now, this version knows exactly what decision to make, what path to take, what to say yes to, and what to walk away from. This version doesn't second guess, doesn't spiral in doubt, doesn't need validation from everyone else before moving forward. And here's what most people don't realize. That version isn't something you have to create. It's something you have to tune into, like a radio station that's already playing music in the air around you. You can't hear it yet, not because it doesn't exist, but because you're tuned to a different frequency. Your higher self is broadcasting constantly, every moment of every day, sending you signals, showing you the way, offering you clarity. But you're not receiving it, not because you're broken or blocked, but because your receiver, your consciousness, is tuned to interference, static, noise, old programming, fear-based thinking, past trauma, future anxiety. All of it creates distortion. And that distortion is why you feel stuck, why you keep asking the same questions without getting clear answers, why you know there's more available to you but can't seem to access it. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about clearing the signal so you can hear what's already there. Let me explain this in a way that makes it real. Every possibility for your life already exists, not as a fantasy, as an energetic reality. Quantum physics has proven this. All potential outcomes exist simultaneously in what scientists call superposition. They're all there, all available, waiting. What determines which one becomes your lived experience? Your observation, your attention, your frequency. The state of consciousness you're operating from collapses one of those possibilities into your reality. Think about it like this. Radio waves are traveling through the air around you right now. Music, talk shows, news broadcasts, all happening simultaneously. But you only hear one station at a time, whichever one your radio is tuned to. Your consciousness works the same way. There are infinite versions of your life broadcasting right now. The version where you're stuck, the version where you're thriving, the version where you're confused, the version where you have absolute clarity. Your higher self is the version broadcasting from the clearest, most aligned frequency. And all you have to do is match that frequency to receive it. So why can't you hear it? Why does clarity feel so elusive? Because there's static between you and that signal. And that static comes from three main sources. First, your thinking. Not all thinking, but the kind of thinking that loops, that obsesses, that replays the past or rehearses the future. That kind of thinking creates mental noise. And when your mind is loud, you can't hear the quiet knowing of your higher self. Second, your emotions, specifically unprocessed emotions, fear, anger, grief, shame. When these emotions are stuck in your body, they create energetic density, and that density blocks the reception of higher frequencies, not because emotions are bad, but because they need to move through you, not stay trapped inside you. Third, your nervous system. When your nervous system is stuck in survival mode, constantly scanning for threats, constantly bracing for the next problem, it can't receive subtle guidance. It's too busy trying to keep you alive. And your higher self doesn't speak in loud, urgent tones. It speaks in whispers, in feelings, in gentle knowing. All of this together, the mental loops, the stuck emotions, the dysregulated nervous system, creates a wall of interference. And on the other side of that wall is the clearest guidance you've ever wanted. Here's something important to understand. Your higher self isn't a wiser version of your personality. It's not you but older, or you but healed. It's not even a separate entity. It's a state of consciousness, a frequency, a level of awareness that exists beyond your conditioned identity. Your personality, the you that you think of as yourself, is shaped by your experiences, your upbringing, your wounds, your beliefs. It's the accumulation of everything that's happened to you. And it operates mostly on autopilot, repeating patterns, reacting to triggers, staying inside the boundaries of what feels familiar. But your higher self exists outside of that. It's the part of you that's always been whole, that was never wounded, that doesn't carry the baggage of your past. It sees from a wider perspective. It knows things your thinking mind doesn't. It operates from trust instead of fear. And the reason it feels hard to access is because you're so identified with your personality, with your story, with the voice in your head that's constantly narrating your life. You think that voice is you, but it's not. It's just one frequency, and there are others available. So how do you actually tune in? How do you move from the static to the clarity? It starts with the simplest thing, your breath. I know that sounds too simple, but hear me out. Your breath is the bridge between your conscious mind and your subconscious, between your body and your energy field, between your current state and higher states of awareness. When you change your breath, you change your brainwaves, you shift your nervous system, you alter your frequency. Most people breathe shallow and fast, especially when they're stressed or thinking hard. That kind of breathing keeps you in beta brainwaves, the state of doing, of thinking, of problem solving. And in that state, you can't access your higher self. But when you slow your breath down, when you make it deep and rhythmic, you shift into alpha brainwaves, sometimes even theta. These are the states where intuition lives, where insight drops in, where you can actually hear the signal. So the first step is this: stop, close your eyes, breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4, hold for a moment, then exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. Do this 5 times. That's it. You've just started clearing the interference. If this resonated, if something shifted while you read these words, drop a comment below. I am tuning in, not for engagement, but as a declaration to the field that you're ready. Now let's talk about emotion, because this is where most people get stuck. They think that to access higher states they need to get rid of negative emotions, to transcend them, to rise above them. But that's not how it works. Emotions aren't the problem. Resistance to emotions is the problem. When you push down fear or shame or anger, it doesn't go away. It gets stored in your body, and that stored emotion creates density, blocks, interference. Your higher self doesn't need you to be happy all the time. It needs you to be present, to be honest, to feel what's actually there without judgment. Because when you let emotions move through you, when you stop resisting them, your energy field clears, and in that clarity, the signal comes through. So if you want to tune into your higher self, start by checking in with your body. What are you feeling right now? Not what are you thinking about. What are you actually feeling? Tightness in your chest, heaviness in your stomach, a lump in your throat. Just notice it. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to make it mean something. Just be with it. That simple act of presence with your emotions begins to dissolve the interference. And as the interference dissolves, the frequency of your higher self becomes audible. Here's the third piece: intention. Your intention is like the dial on the radio. It determines which frequency you're tuning into, not through force, but through focus, through clarity about what you're seeking. Most people don't set clear intentions. They just drift through their day, reacting to whatever shows up. And when you're in reactive mode, you're tuned to the frequency of survival, of coping, of getting by. But your higher self doesn't broadcast on that frequency. Your higher self broadcasts on the frequency of vision, of purpose, of aligned action. And to access that, you need to set an intention, not a goal, not an outcome, but a state of being, a frequency you want to embody. Every morning before you get pulled into the momentum of your day, pause, place your hand on your heart, and ask yourself, what frequency do I want to hold today? Maybe it's peace, maybe it's clarity, maybe it's confidence. Whatever it is, name it, feel it. Let your body remember what that feels like. That simple act tells your nervous system where to tune. And throughout the day, whenever you notice yourself slipping into old patterns, into reactivity, into distortion, you can return to that intention. You can choose again. You can retune. Now let's talk about how your higher self actually communicates. Because it doesn't speak in words the way your thinking mind does. It speaks in feelings, in sensations, in sudden knowing. You've experienced this before. You're thinking about someone and they call. You have a hunch about which route to take, and later find out there was an accident on the other one. You feel a pull towards something without logical reason, and it turns out to be exactly what you needed. That's your higher self. That's the signal coming through. And the reason you don't trust it more often is because you're waiting for it to make logical sense. You're waiting for proof before you follow the guidance. But your higher self doesn't operate on logic. It operates on resonance. Resonance is that felt sense in your body, that yes or no that comes before thought. When something is aligned, your body feels open, expansive, light. When something is misaligned, your body feels tight, contracted, heavy. That's the language. And the more you pay attention to it, the clearer it becomes. So start noticing. When you're about to make a decision, pause, drop out of your head and into your body. How does this choice feel? Not what does it mean. How does it feel? That feeling is your higher self speaking. And the more you honor it, the stronger the signal becomes. If you're ready to stay connected to this frequency, subscribe to this channel. Each video is designed to help you hold this signal. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next transmission. Let's go deeper into the thinking problem, because this is the main reason most people can't sustain a clear connection to their higher self. Their thoughts are too loud, too constant, too identified with as truth. Here's what most people don't realize. Thoughts are not facts. They're just mental events. Neural patterns firing. Most of them are repetitive, habitual, based on old programming. And if you're listening to every thought as if it's the voice of truth, you'll never hear your higher self. Your higher self doesn't shout. It doesn't argue. It doesn't need to convince you. It simply knows. And that knowing is quiet, subtle, easily drowned out by mental chatter. So what do? You learn to observe your thoughts instead of believing them. You create space between the thought and your identification with it. You notice, oh, there's a thought about not being good enough. There's a thought about this not working out. There's a thought about what others might think. And you let them pass like clouds in the sky. This isn't about positive thinking. It's not about replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. It's about recognizing that the voice in your head is not you. It's just one frequency. And when you stop tuning into it exclusively, other frequencies become available. Let me give you something concrete. A daily practice that will train your system to access your higher self more consistently. This takes 5 minutes. You can do it first thing in the morning, and it will shift everything. Step 1. Sit somewhere quiet. Close your eyes. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. This simple gesture activates heart-brain coherence. It signals to your nervous system that it's safe to drop into a deeper state. Step 2. Breathe. Slow and deep. In through your nose for 4 counts. Out through your mouth for 6 counts. Do this for 2 minutes. Feel your body start to relax. Feel your mind start to quiet. Step 3. Set your intention. Silently or out loud. Say, I am open to receiving guidance from my higher self. Not as a demand. As an invitation. You're letting your system know what frequency you're tuning into. Step 4. Ask a question. Not a complicated one. Something simple. What do I most need to know today? Or what's my next aligned step? Then be quiet. Don't try to figure out the answer. Just listen. Feel. Notice what arises. Step 5. Trust what comes. It might be a feeling, a word, an image, a sense of knowing. It might not make logical sense yet. That's okay. Write it down. Honor it. Let it guide your day. This practice trains your receiver. It strengthens the connection. And over time, you won't need to set aside special time for it. You'll be tuned in all day, in every moment, making decisions from that deeper knowing, instead of from fear or conditioning. If this resonated, if something shifted while you read these words, drop a comment below. I am aware of my higher self, not for engagement, but as a declaration to the field that you're ready. Here's the reality. You're going to slip out of alignment. You're going to get stressed, triggered, pulled back into old patterns. And when that happens, the signal will get distorted again. That's not failure. That's being human. The difference is in how quickly you notice, how quickly you return. And that's the real practice. Not staying perfectly tuned in all the time, but noticing when you've drifted and choosing to retune. You'll know you've drifted when you start feeling anxious, when you start overthinking, when you start seeking answers outside yourself, when you start doubting everything. Those are all signs that you're no longer tuned to your higher self. You've dropped back into the frequency of your conditioned mind. And when you notice that, you don't beat yourself up, you don't spiral into self-judgment. You just pause, you breathe, you return to your body, you ask, what frequency am I broadcasting right now? And then you choose. You can stay in the distortion, or you can retune. The more you practice this, the faster the return becomes. What used to take days or weeks to shift, takes hours, then minutes. Eventually, it becomes instantaneous. You catch the drift before it pulls you under, and you recalibrate in real time. So how do you know when you're actually connected to your higher self? How do you know it's not just your mind pretending? There are specific signs, and they're unmistakable once you know what to look for. First, there's a quality of peace. Not excitement, not urgency, just a deep, quiet knowing that everything is okay even when circumstances aren't perfect. This peace doesn't depend on anything external. It's just there, solid, stable. Second, decisions become easier, not because you have all the answers, but because you're not stuck in analysis paralysis. You feel the resonance, you trust it, you move. There's a fluidity to your choices that wasn't there before. Third, synchronicities increase. Things line up. People show up at the right time. Information comes to you without you searching for it. It's like life is cooperating with you instead of resisting you. Fourth, your energy changes. You feel lighter, more spacious, like there's more room inside you. Old triggers don't land the same way. Old patterns lose their grip. You're not trying to be different. You just are. And fifth, you stop needing external validation. You know what's right for you without needing everyone else to agree. You trust your inner compass more than the opinions around you. That doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you aligned. Once you start tuning in regularly, something shifts. You stop living from your conditioned mind and start living from your higher self. Not perfectly, not all the time, but more and more. And when you live from that frequency, your life begins to reorganize itself. Not because you're forcing it, but because your external reality is a reflection of your internal state. And when your internal state is clear, coherent, and aligned, your external world has to match. Relationships shift. Some deepen, some fall away. Not as loss, as realignment. The people who resonate with your new frequency stay. The ones who don't, naturally drift. Opportunities appear, not the ones you were chasing, but the ones that actually fit. The ones that feel right. The ones that don't require you to betray yourself to pursue. Your creativity opens, ideas flow, solutions appear. Not because you're trying harder, but because you're tuned into a frequency where inspiration is abundant. Your health improves, because when your nervous system is regulated, when your emotions are flowing, when your mind is quiet, your body can heal, it can rest, it can thrive. This isn't magic, it's alignment. And alignment is the most powerful force in the universe. So here's what I want you to take from this. Your higher self is not somewhere out there. It's not in the future. It's not dependent on you becoming more healed, or more spiritual, or more enlightened. It's here, now, broadcasting constantly, waiting for you to tune in. And the only thing standing between you and that connection is interference, noise, distortion. Clear the signal, slow your breath, feel your emotions, set your intention, listen to your body, trust the knowing that arises, and return, over and over, whenever you drift. This is not a one-time shift. It's a daily practice, a moment-by-moment choice. But the more you choose it, the easier it becomes. And the more you live from that frequency, the more your life reflects the clarity, the peace, and the purpose you've been searching for. Your higher self is broadcasting. The question is, are you tuned in?